Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something special. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a review of the actual update for Minecraft, the 1.17 Minecraft update. There's a lot of changes, a lot of new stuff, and I'll be explaining it with my friend over here, Pedro, who is my mute assistant today. For some reason, Twitch does a lot of crackly things, and I don't want that to be in the audio this time, so he's gonna just be a quiet boy for this video. Alright, to start off, we're gonna look at the new ore tech. 10 out of 10. Alright, to start off, we're gonna be looking at the actual ores. As you can see, they've all been retextured by a little bit, or by a lot. A lot of the main ores over here: iron, gold, redstone, lapis, emerald, and coal have been retextured quite a bit to make it look like more 3D, especially the emerald one. If you look at the emerald one, it's extremely 3D. You can see like it's like an actual, you'll see like, oh, it's an emerald in there. Alright. Now, as you can see, there's 3 blocks up here. You'll be like, I wonder what those are. Are those beans? Good old sweet beans, and then beans that have been left out for like 2 weeks, and then some good old green giant gold kernel corn. If you get the reference, you get the reference. But no, it's not beans or corn. It's raw iron. Now you may be wondering, what is raw ores? Well, you may be wondering, what is that raw stuff, huh? Well, no. Where'd my OG ore go to? Well, if you go over here and I grab these 3 good old pickaxes, and you got the normal pickaxe, Fortune 3, and Silk Touch. With the normal pickaxe, normally if you break this, it turns into iron ore, right? But if I go like, technical difficulties. If I go like this, there we go. Now I'm in survival. If I go like this, I get raw iron instead of iron ore, which would be that. But no, we have raw iron. Now you're wondering, is that the same thing? Or is it different for gold? Well, I mean, it's the same thing. You get raw gold, and then you get raw copper. Oh, that's interesting. I got 2 raw copper. Okay, let's see how much. Oh no, just copper comes in 2s. Interesting. I didn't know that actually. Anyways, raw materials are replacement for just iron ore, or the corresponding ore blocks. You can cook them in here. Same speed basically. You get raw to just normal ingots, as you can see, coppering it right there. Thank you very much. So yeah, you get these instead. And well, with the raw stuff, you can also make raw blocks for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's for just either organization or just for design, but I don't know. It's kind of... What's happening? Why are you enchanting stuff here? Huh? How dare you? Okay. I don't know. They just exist now. Oh, I'm losing hunger. So you might be wondering, wait a minute, does that happen to the other ores? It doesn't happen to redstone, or lapis, or diamond, or emerald, or coal. Those are they just work normally. Now, you can, of course, silk touch these, and you get the actual ore if you don't have, let's say, fortune, which in this case, we got 1 raw iron from this last time. 1 raw iron. Oh, thank you, assistant. I appreciate that very much. Let's get a little bread break. Okay. If you have fortune 3, let's say, and I hit it with this pickaxe and hit the raw iron, I got only 1 raw iron. Alright, let's try that one more time. Yeah, there we go. I got 2 raw iron that time. So yeah, no, it's sometimes kind of rare to get multiple. Like there we go. I got 2 from that one, and I got 2 from that one. So with fortune, you get 2 instead of 1, and sometimes very rare. Well, not that rare. But if we go over to copper, break it. Well, we still got two. We still got two. All right. That was disappointing. I thought I was gonna get more. Anyways, yeah, these blocks here, we can break them. They give us the block. Same thing with these. So yeah. Anyways, back to creative mode. We go over here. We see le copper. You may be thinking, what is this? Oh, it's a copper block down here, and then copper at the top. Now you may be wondering. Let me just clean up my inventory real quick. You may be wondering, why is there just random things here of copper? Well, I mean, this is cool. You know, it's cool organization over here. And well, you see the oxidation of the copper going from exposed, from clean, just normal copper, to exposed, to weathered, and to then oxidized. Like, you know, the Lady Liberty, all the way in New York. Well, you may be wondering, what's the difference between the left side and the right side? Is it just decoration? You just want to have it even? No, it's not that. If you go over here, you'll see that there is, that this side is different from this side, because if you use this axe, no, if you use the honeycomb, you can come over here, you left click it. Oh, oh, what is that doing? Oh, it's waxing the actual copper blocks. What does that do? Well, it preserves it. As you can see, these are different weathering levels. That's because over time, the actual copper will oxidize and it will change color. Now, if you don't want it to be waxed, you can just left click with an axe and it'll unwax it. Now, that does not work with any other tool. You see, only the axe. Right there, you see, waxed already. So over time, these eventually go over to this one. I don't know why you want to wax this, because it's already at its max oxidation level, but that's there. Put this back in here. I'll be wondering, why is copper so important? Isn't copper just copper? Well, no. Copper is much more than just copper. If you go over here, do this section. 1, 2, 3, copper. You see this thing right here? Is a good old lightning rod. We wondering, what does lightning rod do? Well, I mean, when it's raining or thundering, it will catch actual lightning. And the way you build it is if you go over here to the actual crafting table, you 1, 2, 3, and then you get lightning rod, and then we got lightning rods. Now, oh yeah, I forgot about one thing. That if you go over here to the block iron, block raw iron, block iron, and you may be thinking, can I cook those and get a block? Maybe. Who knows? Here, let's try it out in the furnace. No, nothing happened. Interesting. What about if I put a blast furnace? Maybe it needs to be cooked at a higher temperature or something like that. Nope. Doing nothing. What if it's just, you know, some beans that you gotta cook in the smoker? You know, because it looks like beans, you gotta just cook it in the smoker. Nope, nothing. It's just, you know, cooking. It's not cooking. It's useless. It's just decoration slash organization purposes. Well, moving on to the next section. We go down south into a new region, and it's called the deep region, the Deepslate region. You may be wondering, why did this happen? I generally don't know. But now we have Deepslate, and Deepslate just basically just separates the over and then the under. For the new update, it was going to be it wasn't going to be divided into different regions, and we were going to have Deepslate region, super underground with bunch of caves, and it's going to be a different organization here and there, la 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 la. But because they're dividing it, we just have this here for some reason, and it spawns at levels of 10 and below. So you may think, what's the difference? Well, I mean, to begin with, they look very different. They actually look quite different, and the Deepslate is actually directionally placed. So depending on what direction you place it, it will change the look and change how it looks. Now, if I go over here to survival, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You get cobblestone, right? if you cut the actual stone. If you go in, if you count it down, it was around 4 seconds to cut down 4 blocks. Now, if we go over here to actual deep slate, it takes a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes a little bit longer, and then you notice that you get cobbled deep slate instead of just normal deep slate. So that brings us over here. Oh, look, a bee. And this brings us over here to this secondary area that I have for the deep slate. We have different ranges of deep slate. We have deep slate, then we have the cobbled deep slate, and then we have the tiled deep slate, which is like pretty cool. Then we have the deep slate tiles, the bricks deep slate, and then the cracked deep slate bricks, and then we got the chiseled, and then we got the smooth, and then we got the infested. This is basically a different type of stone, but because it's lower down, it's more, let's say, condensed and harder to break when you're down at the lower levels of the earth. That's why that explains this. Anyways, if we go over here, we have the different versions of it, of course. You can turn them into slabs, walls, stairs, la la la. The whole arrangement, the whole assortment. Now, if we go, if this were the actual update and we had experimental settings for this world, we'd be able to find it. But here we are in the Lush Caves. This is a secondary, before we do that, actually, we want to look over here. There was a texture update for the jungle leaves. For some reason, now they look like they had berries in it, but no, it's different. Anyways, if you look at these 3 types of leaves, in the middle, we have some good old oak leaves. Now, yeah, oh, the assistant left. The assistant is gone. Well, that's that. I guess we're here now. We have azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves. So now we have those now. So, yeah, those are corresponding to the azalea tree. The azalea tree is basically a marker down to the Lush Caves. So it'll be spawning later when we have the actual update. I haven't actually checked. I haven't gone throughout this world to actually see... I haven't actually checked if they spawn naturally in this world, but you know what? It don't matter. Anyways, in an update, eventually, if you find these trees deep down, you will actually see Lush Caves. So if you follow these trees and you dig down, you will see like, for example, these root blocks, which is over here, root blocks, they will be connected to these trees and they will lead you down to the actual Lush Caves. Now we have roots in the root block, and of course we have these over here, the moss carpet, and then we have the moss blocks. So you might be wondering, why the moss? Well, I really don't know. It's just, we have that now. Talking about moss, we have this thing that looks like moss. It's called glow lichen. I don't know how you pronounce it. It glows. Basically, you find it in the earth, in the caves, and they produce a light level of, I don't know, a pretty low light level. It's not enough to like unspawn mobs, but you know, it's there. In Lush Caves, we also find these things called drip leaves. This is a small drip leaf, and then we have the big drip leaf. Now, small drip leaves, you can only find them on top of moss blocks, but if you just want to get this, you would normally, if you find this, you just smack it and here, let me go into survival. If you smack it, it will drop the actual drip leaf. Now, if you smack this, it doesn't drop anything. So what you want to do is you want to go over here, grab some bone meal, you left click this, and it turns into a good old drip leaf. And then you can smack it, and you get multiple drip leaf, depending on how tall it is. Now, the cool thing about the drip leaf is that it's a timed surface, basically. So if you stand on it, it will start to, and it'll do that. It'll basically go off. And in previous snapshots, if you were to stand on it and crouch, it wouldn't time like that, but you know, for some reason, it doesn't work anymore. They took it off, so now, boop, 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 like a parkour map. Alrighty. Now, if you go over here, you see these little azalea, the flowering azalea, and then the azalea. If you were to bone meal this, they would turn into the trees. Anyways, if you were to pay attention to this, you would always see that the bees were actually grabbing honey from the azalea bushes. And yeah, so if you just want a different way to have flowers, then you can literally basically have a basically a whole bee nest with a bunch of bees underground, and you would have this system down there instead of having it up like all the way in the overground. You could have these as well, and I don't think they catch I don't think they catch the honey or grab the honey, the nectar from these trees. But anyways, now if you were to have noticed all around, there's just these particles. What were these particles? Well, they come from the... Oh, wait, it's flowering. Oh, it is flowering these. Okay, so, yeah, no, they do flower these. The flowering azaleas. Alright, that's cool. Anyways. If you go over here, the spore blossom. No, spore blossom. There we go. The spore blossom. You can only hang it from up. I'm pretty sure you can do it in any block, but yeah. You hang them from over here, and they just let out a bunch of particles, and the particles just give out atmosphere to the area. I'm pretty sure if you were to find a lush cave in the actual game, you would find some you would actually find these, and then it would actually leave out an atmosphere, a little bit of haze around the area. Now, as you can see, you'll be wondering, what's over there? Well, if we go over here, you will notice that there's Deepslate versions of the actual ores. Now, of course, what these do, they're just a little bit tough. Oh, oops. Sorry about that. They're a little bit tougher to mine than normal ore, but they still give you basically the same amount of raw iron and raw stuff than you would if you were to find it in the other areas. Anyways, basically the same thing as those ones over there, but they're just deeper down and they have a retexture with that color. Anyways, moving on, I want to present to you a secondary guest that we have over here. It's my friend Yoki. Yoki this. I know a few of you will actually know who this person is. If you know. Wait a minute. Oh, look, he has something in his mouth. Let's see what. Come on, grab the chicken. Grab the chicken. Come on. Grab chicken. Grab the chicken! I was gonna do a whole bit with Yoki, but I guess he's just not gonna give me the thing that he has in the mouth. Okay, well, he just has the clock. The clock got a little bit of a retexture. It's a little bit different now. Anyways, moving on to the next section, we have, if we go around the same level as these lush caves, you will find the dripstone caves. These are stalagmites and stalactites, the pointed dripstone. They can hang or they can just be on the ground. If you were to be walking around and you jump on these will actually do damage to you. I think they should. Well, I mean, I can't really. Okay, here we go. There we go, you see? And I'm pretty sure that from 6 blocks up, you will die from just falling on one dripstone. So yeah, no, be careful whenever you're mining around. You might fall on these and die immediately. Alright, going back to creative. Dripstones also can go to any length. Naturally, unnaturally, however you want to form them, you see? And yeah, they can fall as well. I was going to have a demonstration. I am going to have a demonstration, actually. Let me grab a mob. Who's going to be the unfortunate animal that gets destroyed by Here, I'll put a witch in there. Why not? And if I do a command, which is go over here, /air. Whoop. There we go. 2, 3. Anyways. It actually does a lot of damage. If you let it drop from that high up, it does around 5 hearts of damage, I believe. It does a lot of damage just from falling that little bit. If it were a lot higher, then it would do a lot more damage. Now, as you can see, there's 2 cauldrons full of different substances. Dripstone, dripping, different substances. You may be wondering, why is that? Well, dripstone, as it's called, it will drip things. Dripstone will drip water if there's a water source above it, and dripstone will drip lava as well if there's lava above it. Now, as you know, lava and water have different levels. Well, actually, no. Water is the only one with different levels that go into a cauldron. So this will slowly fill up a cauldron, but then for a cauldron, there's a slight chance that it will actually leave lava or leak lava into the cauldron. So yeah, that's there. Now, moving on. If we go over here, actually, this is very rare. A lot of people do like a cauldron system where they just push cauldrons, boom, 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 boom. And eventually, it's supposedly easier. Anyways, don't really care. Anyways, this is a small example of what you would call a amethyst geode. This is another structure you will find naturally in your world. I think a friend of mine found one just roaming around under the earth just because he was just curious to see, and he found one, but I haven't found one myself, so I don't know if these spawn naturally in this update or this version of the update, but I think they do. These amethyst geodes have 3 different layers. They have the tuff, they have the calcite, and then the actual amethyst layer. And as you can hear, if you walk on top of them, they make music. And I think that was I honestly think that's a really cool feature that they added to this little update. Anyways, as you can see, different levels to this amethyst cluster. Now, the amethyst cluster, if you break it with a pickaxe, survival, it will drop amethyst shards. Now, these amethyst shards can, of course, be used for different crafting things. Now, if you were to actually find an amethyst geode in the wild, you wouldn't actually get amethyst shards or amethyst. You wouldn't see amethyst clusters spawning on top of this, which is an amethyst block. You would be finding them on top of this, as you can see, a budding amethyst. And eventually, they grow over time. As you can see, that is a secondary stage amethyst. They take a long time to grow, so you want to keep an eye on where you actually have these amethyst locations. Anyways, over here, as you can see, you have the amethyst block, and then you have the budding amethyst. As you can see, these are already... I had this as a demonstration a while ago, like like a couple minutes before I started this video, and now they're actually budding. So yeah, if you solo these out, they will grow from all sides if you have enough space. Now if we go back to survival, and grab my pickaxe, right? I get the amethyst block. But now if I use my pickaxe, let's actually go through the extreme. I'll use my silk touch pickaxe. If I break this, it'll break completely. So you cannot obtain the amethyst. Wait, did I actually? No, you cannot obtain it from just in general. You have to be creative to actually grab it. So while I was doing this part of the video originally, Twitch decided to be like, no, you're not gonna actually have this video anymore. So yeah, no, the back half of this is like completely broken. So now I'm redoing it. So where we left off, I mined these 2 blocks. I replaced them, of course, but as you can see, the budding amethyst started to bud again, and it has pieces here. So you can farm this, but not that. Anyways, so I had actually, I want to see. So I'm pretty sure each one of these gives out a certain different amount of thingies. So if we go over here to survival, nothing, 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 and that one gives. Okay, so you can only actually get the fragments from actually breaking these big ones over here. And I'm pretty sure if you have fortune, it will give you more. So if you've got fortune, yeah, we got 8 amethyst shards just from breaking the big one with fortune 3. So I would say if you want to farm those, get fortune 3. Also, why do we need the good old amethyst shards? They look cool, but you might be wondering, why do I need it? Why would I want to get an amethyst arm? Well, I mean, I already kind of spoiled it. So with the copper, ingots and the amethyst shard, you can make the spyglass. And with the spyglass, you can zoom in. You can zoom in pretty far. So if I go over here to creative one more time, let's say I'm on top of this tree and I want to spy on the mushroom over there. I can spy in onto the mushroom from 500 meters away. So yeah, you can see really far away with this spyglass, and it's pretty useful if you're like spotting out, like let's say a pillager outpost, and you want to say, oh, where is it? And then you just zoom in, and you're like, oh, it's over there. Anyways, that is the first thing you can use the amethyst shards with. So the second thing you can use it for is the good old tinted glass. Now this is the crafting recipe, which is amethyst shards in a cross formation with glass in the middle. So this is tinted glass. It's pretty cool, right? Everyone, what's the difference between tinted glass and, let's say, oh, I don't know, maybe some good old just normal black glass? I mean, you're not wrong. They don't look that different. But here's the difference. Move over here. I'll put up this over here. Now, if you move over here, you see this is normal glass, and then this is tinted glass, right? In Minecraft, there are different light levels. Like, for example, I showed you this lichen over here, or the glow lichen, right? It shows a different light level compared to this, which I forgot to explain. These are glowberries. Glowberries will grow on the trees. And yeah, you'll find them like this, and they'll emit a light level. And if there's no berries on them, you just grab some bone meal and bone meal them, and they'll grow with glowberries. Anyways, lava also emits a light source, and different blocks and different things emit light source or light levels. Normal Minecraft, if you have a torch next to glass or encased in glass, the light levels will stay the same as if it was just like normal air instead of glass. So glass just acts as a barrier, but the light levels will still pass through it. But tinted glass, on the other hand, does not allow light levels to pass through. Oh, whoops. I don't have the thingy that I wanted to use for this. Okay, so let's say zombies are affected by light. If they're in the sun, they will start to burn. Right here. Oh, well. Yup. Alright. If I put him here, he starts to burn, obviously, because, you know, the light levels pass through and he can burn from the light of the sun. Now, if I go over here to the tinted glass that does not allow light levels to pass through, and I put the zombie inside, oh look, he doesn't get affected by the light. He's actually completely fine. Nothing actually really happens to him. So you can keep your villagers safe, your zombie villagers safe, just by put a tinted glass around him or on top of him. And you can break it. Well, I mean, you need silk touch for it, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, let's test it out. If I break it like this. Oh, actually, no. Tinted glass is the only type of glass that does not break when you break it with a pickaxe or with any other thing. So you can use your hand, and you'll get tinted glass back. So it's basically like a type of reinforced glass. But yeah, you can use it for keeping your zombie villagers in check, and you can also use it for mob grinders. Whenever you're using a mob grinder and you don't want to affect the light levels to the spawner, you just put these to see inside without affecting the light. So you see the darkness down there. Now, if we move on over here, you'll notice that there's a cauldron with snow. Why snow? Well, here's the thing. We have a new kind of snow, and it's called good old powdered snow. You can get in a bucket. The way you get powdered snow is you put a cauldron, and you go to a snowy area, and when it's snowing, it will accumulate into the bucket, into the cauldron, and you can grab a bucket, left click, and you will get powdered snow. Now, what's so special about powdered snow? Well, if you see, this is normal snow right here. Now, if I just walk over here where the powder snow is, oh no, I sink. And yeah, I sunk down to the powder snow. And now, as you can see on the outlines, on the borders of my screen, crystallization. It looks like a bunch of snowflakes and ice forming around my screen. And as you can see, my character is actually shivering because in powdered snow, when you sink in, you start to get cold. And when that happens, well, you start to take, when it goes complete crystallized, it was like a light blue, vibrant blue around your screen, you will start to take damage. You'll start to take around half a tick of damage. So here, we can test it out. As you can see, the screen is getting blue. The closer to the camera is getting closer, cold, and I'm taking tick damage, half a heart per tick. And yeah. And I'll eventually die, but you know, I won't if I go into creative mode. Anyways, now you might be wondering, is there a counter to this? Yes, there is a counter to it. If you look over here, I have leather boots. What does leather boots do? Well, you won't sink. You see? Standing on the powdered snow. If I take off the boots, I will sink. I will go straight down to the bottom of this area. Now, if you crouch, you can go down. If you hold A, you can go back up. And yeah, you can use this as a secret base. Like if you have a hole all the way down to the ground, you can just use the powdered snow. And whenever you're walking around, you're like, oh, I need to go down to my base. Just crouch and you go all the way down. And then hold 8 all the way back up. And as you noticed, I don't get the freezing effect around me. The boots alone will keep me safe from the crystallization or just the freezing in general. Now, you might think, oh, what, do mobs get affected by this? Yes, mobs do get affected by this. An example, let's say we get this horse, right? It's like the only mob that has leather armor. You might think, oh, maybe if it has leather armor, it'll be safe from going into the powdered snow. Well, let's test it out. No, he doesn't know. He's not safe. I'm not safe either because I took off my leather boots. So yeah, no, you want to keep an eye out. Okay, well, keep an eye out for your mobs when you're going through powdered snow because they can. Oh, what the? Because if you go through powdered snow, most mobs will fall down and die from it. Like you can try it out on the other. Yeah, no. They will sink and they will start to die. So if you have, let's say, a horse or a dog or a cat, be careful of powdered snow because they will get stuck into the powdered snow. Now, the only mobs not affected by powdered snow normally would be skeletons and foxes. Whenever you put a skeleton in powdered snow, they won't get affected by light, and then they will eventually, there we go, we gotta wait for a few seconds. Now they turn into strays. If skeletons go into powdered snow for long enough, they will turn into strays. Just how if zombies are underwater for long enough, they will turn into drown. Now you can make basically a stray farm. If you have, let's say, a mob spawner that just has random mobs that spawn into that area and they drop in here, any mob that is not wearing leather boots or that isn't a skeleton will die from the powdered snow. But if it's a skeleton, they will turn into strays. So that actually adds a new aspect to the game where you can actually now farm slowness arrows because strays are the only mob that drop slowness arrows. So now you can farm that. Now the only other animal that does not get affected by powdered snow is my boy Yoki over here. Foxes. Foxes do not get affected by Foxes do not. Oh my god. Foxes do not get affected by powdered snow. As you can see, they can just literally walk over it. Nothing happens to them. You see, look at this. Yeah, he just walks right over it. He doesn't get affected by the powdered snow. Well, of course, he won't want to run over it, but you know, he does not get affected by the powdered snow. Now, that is it for powdered snow. That's basically at the tops. This is the cliffs section of the blocks update. Now, let's go on to the mobs. Now, I'm going to introduce you the most anticipated mob of 2021 Minecraft update, the Squid. Yeah, no, the squid. That's what we get. We got the glow squid. As you can see, their skin isn't really affected by light levels, but the tinted glass does incorporate that blockage of light levels, so you can't really see the skin. If I were to go like this, I go up here, say we're in the middle of the night, right? It's dark. You see this creature over here, this monster, this mob. You can't see their skin as much as you can see the glow squid because the glow squids glow in the dark. Now, if I, let's say, put it back to day, look exactly the same. That's literally all they do in terms of just being a mob. They just glow. And not even just to glow, their skin is just not affected by light levels. And that's the spawn egg right there. But, yeah, no, kind of useless basically. Now, the one thing they are useful for is when they demonetize, they drop something called the glowing sack. Now, when you normally have, let's say, a good old oak sign, right? You write something like, I don't know, maybe subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below and subscribe to my channel. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they won't shine. Like if it's in the dark, we go to nighttime, it won't shine. Now let's say I want to change it to a different color. I want to change it to gold, yellow, like my YouTube channel. Click it. Whoa. It looks, but it's affected by light levels. You can't really see it. But now with glowing sacks, you can see, and it won't be affected by light levels. It'd be like if it were just day. Yeah, you see? And it also does kind of change it a little bit. It makes it vibrant. Now you may be wondering, what if I just put it on a picture frame, or not a picture frame, item frame? Will it do the same thing? No, it won't. It'll just get placed in there. If you want an item frame to actually produce light, well, what you do is you go over here, you grab an item frame, and you put it right next to an old glow ink sac, and it will turn into a glow item frame. Now, if I were to grab this glow item frame, put it down, right there, beautiful. It looks like glowstone should have been the thing that would have been added to this, but you know, to make at least the glow squid somewhat useful, you have that now. Now if I were to turn it nighttime, one more time, this is glowing, that's glowing, and let's say if we put a map, that's glowing, that's not glowing. So now that's very useful in case you put, like, let's say like a bunch of maps on the outside of your village and you want to show off where your village is, but it's in the night. You just put this right there, and now people can actually see the map in the nighttime. Now, on to the actually loved, or not, I don't mean to do that, to the actually anticipated mob of the 2020 update, or 2021 update for Minecraft, is the Axolotls. Good old Axolotls. Look at those boys over there. Here, I'm gonna grab two things here. If we go over here, and that's the spawn egg right there. You want to find it? They have 4 different colors. Actually, I have 5 colors, but I currently only have 4 because they have 4 colors at the moment, but 5 if you interbreed them. It's a 1 in a 1,200 chance to get the special color, which is blue with gold. But in this case, we have a couple different colors. We have it in pink, we have it in brown, we have it in gold, and we have this blue with pink. Now, of course, as you can see, I have a bucket of tropical fish. If I left click with my tropical fish bucket, you see that? Hearts. Right there. And little baby child. Now, when you breed these axolotls, they will have a chance of getting the genes of either one of these. It is an equal chance. Now, there is a super small chance, a 1 in a 1,200 chance that you will get a blue and gold axolotl, which I will put on the screen right now. super rare to get these things. Like it's almost basically impossible. But if you want to if you find these, which they're gonna be in the wild in the middle of a cave, and you're like, oh, I want to take these with me, then you just go pull up to one of these, left click. I've tried this. There you go. And you can get them in a bucket. So yeah. Come on, come on. There we go. Gold. Ooh, sweet. That's my color. And of course, grab this one, adult cyan, and then of course the other one, which is the pink one, which is called the Leucistic. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, let's say you think, oh, they don't do anything. They look pretty cool, pretty cute. You can breed them. Well, if you just, let's say, I don't know, put down a bucket of fish with a fishy boy, and they just attack. They're hunters. I'm pretty sure you can do that with any other with any fish. They will hunt down things if they want to. So let's have a intense battle between the two mobs that have two important aquatic mobs that have been added to the game, and here we go. Look, glowing. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at this man's. Let's open the gates a little bit more so that they can pass through. Look at this. And as you can see, they drop the glowing sacks if you kill them. Of course, they'll have a higher chance or higher drop rate if you have fortune. Not fortune. Looting. Anyways, they can also go on land for a little bit of time. Just stand here for a little bit, which is also pretty cool. Now, if you do choose to grab these boys in a bucket and take them with you, you can make them fight with you. For example, let's say we have a guardian and we're going to a underwater temple. We grab a guardian spawn egg over here. Spawn a guardian. These boys are gonna attack the guardian. Now, you may be thinking, oh no, they're dying. No, they're not. What they're actually doing is they're playing dead and they're healing up. Because in real life, they can heal limbs. In this game, what they do is they just act dead, they play dead, and then they have regeneration, which are just particles, and they will start to regenerate their health. Now, in some cases, I think that the blue and gold one does have a chance of doing this. But I think all of them have a chance to do this. They can give you regeneration if you lose health. So, yeah. So these are Axolotl. New mob added to the game. Now, moving on to the last mob that's been added. This mob corresponds with the good old snow over there. It's the goats. The mountain goats. These boys are pretty cool as well. This is the spawn egg right here. And I'm just going to grab this over here. Now, as you can see, there are some up there, and there's some up down here. And we're wondering, why did I do that? Just because of that. Literally, they jump super high. The last time I checked, this was the block that I thought they could only jump up to. But when I tried it, they were actually jumping up to 9 blocks high. So, yeah, I know, they're crazy. They can jump up super high. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure they don't take any fall damage as long as they jump. So, yeah, no, it's crazy. These mobs are crazy. And not only that, but if I were to go, I don't know, maybe into... No, not nighttime. Not nighttime. No. If I were to go over here and I put myself into the good old... Not creative. I'm going to go into survival. If I go into survival... Alright. There we go. If I were to go into survival, right? He gets mad and he actually attacks me. They ram you, which is really interesting. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. But the only way that they won't... Well, I mean, you can be friendly. They'll normally just walk away from you, or they'll just decide to ram you. But what you can do is, if you have wheat, you can sneak up to them and left-click, and that's how you breed them. And... your baby goat. A cute little baby goat. But yeah, no, otherwise they just have a chance of just ramming at you out of nowhere. So I would say be careful with these boys, because if you're just on a mountain and you find them, they will knock you off the mountain. And you, yeah, exactly like that. It has like a as much knockback as like almost knockback one. So they do a lot of knockback. Anyways, this guy wants to get out. He's been trying to get out for a while. Now if I go back to the creative over here and just observe their beauty. You see, they're all on top. Look at that. Jumping like crazy. Now, I'm sad that they didn't add one thing that I wanted them to add, which was the goat horn. So what you would do is you would have a goat, and if they're gonna ram you, you just like dodge them or make them hit a rough surface, and they would drop something called the goat horn. The goat horn would do the same sound effect as a raid horn, and I'll play that sound effect right now. They would do the exact same sound effect. So yeah, I'm kind of sad that they didn't add that. But yeah, now onto the actual video. Now to end off the video, I did this little exhibit over here of this is somewhat of what a lush cave would look like if it was in the wild. You have the roots in the roof. We got the spore blossoms over here, giving it the atmosphere that it needs. We got the moss carpet. And then we got the drip leaves over here and the glow lichen. And if you have I forgot to say this, if you have this, which is glowberries, they will grow naturally on bark on the trees of these azalea trees underground. And there is a chance for them to actually have the berries in there. If you do find one, and it's just like this, you can have bone meal, and you can bone meal it, and it will get the glowberries. And it will produce light. This is basically as much light as a torch, so it's very useful. And yeah, and that's it. That's the whole update. That's all. I mean, there were little bugs that were fixed here and there, a little bit of different commands that were added here and there, different blocks for different versions. For example, there's the light block. I'll put it up on the screen. The light block that was added to Java edition. We've had it, but I'm pretty sure nobody knows how to use it on the Bedrock / Windows 10 edition. Now in the Java, you can it's basically a light block that just produces light. Anyways, that's it. That's all the update has to do. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like down below. Subscribing for more content. This week is going to be completely filled with content. So yeah, go check that out. And follow the Twitch to catch these live. Follow the secondary channel. Follow the new channel. The good old, famously unpopular, which I'll be leaving a link down below. Hopefully we'll have content on there eventually. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next video.